Hey, I'm Kristin Shaw, and this is Show and Tell in Seattle today. And I've got Paulie, Thielen, and Brad Knowles here from Interloc, and we're going to find out more about what they do. Gentlemen,
Hey,
welcome.
Thank you very much for having us.
Tell me first, let's tell the audience, what does Interloc do?
We work with Maximo, which is an asset management software system, to help the airports maintain all their equipment and be proactive in all their maintenance and make sure that things aren't breaking ahead of time.
Maximo has turned out to be the preeminent tool in the airport industry. Probably over 90% adoption at the major airports around the globe are all Maximo users. And the tool evolved as a facilities management, work management tool. IBM acquired it and took a very drastic departure with the development of the Maximo tool. Instead of being a software product that IBM was selling software, and you had guys like me out pushing units of software, they took the Maximo product out of the products division and immersed it into the whole Watson artificial intelligence revolution in around the 2010 timeframe. And so instead of being an enterprise asset management software tool, Maximo has now evolved into a hub for condition-based maintenance or reliability-centered maintenance. So we are now in the business of building digital models of airports. And that's where Brad and I work together with Interloc and Brad's team in delivering these projects, is that we want to have a full digital fingerprint of an airport facility, runways, lights, beacons, the terminals, the gates, every single aspect of it. And we are able to merge the Internet of Things with the premier asset management solution on the planet, and now empower all of that with this incredible AI layer. So when an airport engages a company like Interloc and selects IBM's Maximo EAMS, what they now have done is they've now have the ability to have an entire digital fingerprint of their whole operation. And we no longer have to manage things based on failure rates. And that's a critical savings area. If you have to have 5 HVAC heat exchangers to run your air conditioning system and keep the terminal, the reason you would have 5 instead of 4, which might be the capacity rating, is so that you can pull units on and offline for maintenance. Well, when you're doing maintenance based on timing, you have to do that. And so you're going to take it apart and reassemble it because the calendar says do it. In the new paradigm, in the digital twin paradigm, the business transformation paradigm, what we're doing is we're modeling and monitoring this piece of equipment. And if it doesn't have a problem, we let it continue to run. And then when the predictive analysis starts seeing the potential for a breakdown, then we say, okay, let's go address that. Well, I don't have to have 5 now. This is a multi-million-dollar system, and I can improve my reliability, spend a lot less money, and now we're doing really groovy things. Those things have carbon footprints. They have a huge environmental impact. They're using chemical systems and heat exchangers and electricity and consuming, and they cost a lot of money to build and maintain. So to have 4 instead of 5 is a big deal.
So let's break it down, Brad, from your perspective. How do you approach the airports and get them to understand what it is that you do and how it's going to benefit them?
Well, when we talk about maintenance and saving money on the maintenance, that's usually an easy sell. But when we start talking to them about, here's your baggage equipment, you have alarms on them, right? What if we tie the alarms into the software? So then it gives you a warning. It sends out an email or even a work order right to a guy who's got it close by. He goes and he fixes it.
Seems common sense, right?
It is. It is when you break it down just to the basics. So that's where we're approaching them, and that's the Internet of Things, and everything's electronically. And when you get right down to the smarts, the artificial intelligence is now programming some things in that are not as easy to forecast. Like you monitor something for a long time, and then you tell it what's not normal. And then when that happens, it does the same thing. It tells you, oh, send somebody out to fix this.
Okay.
And then the system works all by itself. It sends a condition, creates it, cuts a work order, emails it out to the mobile person, got it, he goes and does it. That's the age we're coming into now, is mobile, with the Maximo application. and then all these sensors and everything else that trigger everything.
So you're harnessing some tools that are already in place, Internet of Things, using those to tie information together.
Absolutely, and that's the trick. That really is the trick. Information is power, and the next step to making it actionable is to mobilize it. And I have a little hook that I always like to go and listen. No one ever responded to an emergency or an alarm by saying, "Quick, somebody grab my desk." And that's been the real empowerment of new Maximo. The Maximo application suite is designed to be engaged mobily. iPads, Windows Surface Pros, and that's in the operations world of airports. It's all Windows instead of iOS. And the idea is to engage Maximo at the point where you need it to do your job effectively. And what we're able to do is on that mobile device now, we're able to put three-dimensional drawings. We're able to literally have an advanced senior technician guiding a younger technician. And you think about the workforce and the way that's evolving so rapidly, that becomes very important. And that entire guidance, that entire mentoring process is now captured, associated with the asset, and available to the next apprentice that comes along that needs the support and the help. So that's really been and that really is the focus of Interloc Solutions. We are one of IBM's premier and largest small business systems integrator for the Maximo product. We are intricately involved in the development of the Maximo application suite, which is the new generation of Maximo.
Right.
And our calling card has always been mobilizing this solution, but doing it in an intelligent manner. If you're going to take a complex enterprise system like Maximo and shrink it down to a 4-inch screen, you're not going to win. What you need to do is grab what elements of Maximo the individual on the mobile device needs to do their job successfully that day, that mission.
So let's talk about how to connect this to the trends that are happening in airports right now.
Mm-hmm.
Has anything changed for you in the last couple of years in the way you do business and the way you're finding that airports are looking at what you offer?
A lot of times with COVID, it changed a lot of things, right? So everything's got to be cleaner, right? They have cleaning stations, and it impacts the janitorial people. Like they actually use Maximo as well to go out and do all their inspections. So they have quality inspections of all the washrooms, everything else, and then there's the escalators, elevators. Everything is all got to be done right away because it's you have the handicapped have to have their access and everything else. So everything's becoming. I need it done faster. I need it done now. So if they can do things proactively, that's where they're aiming for right now. We need to get ahead of the game instead of reactive and behind the game.
Right, and airports thrive with that kind of approach.
Yeah, and it's the experience now. It's the user experience in the airport that's actually where they're focusing. A lot of the airports now, because they want the people to come in and enjoy when they're here and not be hassled.
Right. Everybody wants that.
Yes.
Isn't it great? It's and that really is. That's where the digital transformation is going now. It's all CX. It's customer experience, and and listen, airports compete. Airports compete viciously. Airlines compete. It's an industry that operates on margins of pennies, not dollars, not billions. In spite of what people think when we pay for those tickets, it really is efficiency and effectiveness. But I have my list of airports that I prefer to travel out of, whether it's an international long-haul flight, whether it's a short connection, and it just isn't scarcity or availability of flights. That's not the decision-making point anymore. The amazing modernization that LAX has undergone and LAWA has. Mm-hmm. And they've done that in partnership, public-private partnerships, the LA County, the Los Angeles World Airports, and then all of the stakeholder airlines have all cooperated together, and they turned a horrible customer experience situation is now evolving into this first-rate, absolute glamour thing. And doesn't that fit Hollywood? Doesn't that fit LAX vibe?
It does.
And it makes sense. So that you're now immersed. That's your CX. When you are going in through the new combined Terminal 2, Terminal 3 that Delta has just finished and is commissioning, it is a mind-blowing experience. And I travel via LAX just so I can experience the new International Departures Club that Delta has invested significantly in. And that is where we're going. And CX, the whole immersion, it then goes, what happens there? Well, are the people movers working functionally? Are the elevators quick and efficient? Is grandma in the wheelchair handler stuck in the elevator? That's a big issue. How are we going to notify them that? Nobody wants that. And that's how we do it. And there are tools that Interloc has engineered and use and have in our tool bag. What about if you make everybody that comes into the door a service requester? And you probably think to yourself, oh my God, that would be insane. I'd have 5,000 people reporting the buttons not flashing right on this elevator or whatever. But we have the tools, we have the intelligence, and the technology does the deconfliction. It sorts it. Okay, yeah, so 5,000 people saw that it was there, and we've automatically dispatched a technician. The customer's experience is improved. The customer now is taking pride of ownership in my airport.
Right, and like you said, I mean, airlines and airports are very competitive. They're looking for ways to get the edge.
Absolutely.
So, to wrap up in a minute or less, we'll start with you, Brad. What would you say to an airport right now that doesn't have your service that would make them consider taking a look at it now?
Well, basically, we would just sit down and go over where they could do their cost savings. What aren't they doing well, right? And when you come to the user experience, it's basically it's the janitors and the furniture and everything else, the user experience. What can we do to help you figure it out, make it better, and automate the whole experience level?
User experience and sustainability. These are the topics that you cannot avoid. The aviation industry is under regulation and management on a global basis with greenhouse gas emissions, sustainable fuels, and the airports have a great sustainability mission. Our host, Seattle Tacoma Airport, LEED 1 certified. That's a major deal. All electric ground fleet, major deal. And other innovations they've done. They are piloting a visual AI tool to optimize the aircraft turnaround for speed, efficiency, and cost effectiveness. But the number one priority is get that air and that ground power plugged into that aircraft as quickly as you can to shut down that APU and stop generating greenhouse gases. And so what's going on here needs to go on a global basis, and we have to. Now is the time. So that's my message. Everybody knows I'll run your facility. That's easy. Interloc is here. We'll build it. We'll host it. We'll upgrade it. We'll integrate it with all your systems. But we want to be more than that. We partner with our airlines. We partner with our airports so that we can be contributing members of this sustainability and customer experience. And that is really the watchwords now in our digital transformation. And it's going to be something different in a few more years. And I would say the one thing about COVID that we all learned, we still have to travel, and we still have to find ways to work, and we still have to do it effectively and sustainably, and we're just learning to do it differently. And so it's been refreshing that we don't have to physically be present to be present anymore, and that gives our customers and our teams a lot more flexibility in how we deliver and manage these solutions.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you very much.
Seeing you guys soon.
All right. Thanks so much.